And you saw the reach there. De La Hoya has usually had a little bit of a reach on many of his opponents. And one thing that they don't have in there, the hometown edge. Let's see how the crowd plays for Oscar. There's a look at the Golden Boy. And let's get the introductions now from Michael Buffer.
Auditorium here in Los Angeles, California, where CBS Sports Quaker State Boxing Championship Series continues with a world title bout brought to you by Top Rank Incorporated. The officials assigned at ringside by the California State Athletic Commission are as follows. The judges scoring the bout on a 10-point must system will be Lou Moret from California, Horacio Bacamon from the Dominican Republic, and Pat Russell from California. Our physicians at ringside are Dr. Richard Louris, Dr. Robert Carnes, and Dr. Adam Carnes. The timekeepers, Debbie Garcia, and when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, referee Raul Caiz, also from California. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the Grand Olympic Auditorium of the City of Angels, let's get ready to rumble! 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Lightweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing red with white trim and weighing in at 135 pounds. His professional record, 20 victories with 1 defeat, 1 draw. 11 of his 20 victories are by KO. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing from Palmdale, California, the challenger, the electrifying Sonny Avilas. The blue corner, wearing white and weighing in at 135 pounds, this 1992 Olympic gold medalist has a professional record of 15 victories with 14 KOs, and he has captured 2 WBO world titles. Ladies and gentlemen, from East Los Angeles, California, presenting the undefeated WBO lightweight champion of the world, the Golden Boy, Oscar de la Hoya.
Okay, gentlemen, I give you instructions downstairs. I expect you to play my commands at all times. Low blow is right here. Bone on down where I told you. Okay, keep them up. I'll shake hands. Good luck to both of you.
In the WBO, 3 knockdowns in 1 round would end it. No standing 8 count, though. Fighter can be saved by the bell only in the last round. 10 points to the winner of a round, 9 or less to the loser. Only the referee can stop the fight, but physicians have input as you look at Oscar de la Hoya. Pride of East Los Angeles. He's literally the hometown fighter here. However, his opponent from Palmdale, California, Johnny Avila, it's only 45 minutes to the north, so good neighborhood battle. And so Avila, no doubt, bringing his fans as well. And here we go.
See, Oscar has the height advantage, but doesn't mean anything if you don't use it.
Avila in the red trunks will be stalking here. And Avila, no doubt, familiar with De La Hoya's success in recent fights at the lightweight limit. He has seen the likes of Griffith and Paez walk into bombs. Now, what do you think he does here?
I think what Avila should try and do is stay away from De La Hoya. The problem those other 2 guys had, they got right inside of Oscar's power. You need to stay away from, let Oscar burn up some of that energy he has, because he wants to try and take you out early, which always seems to be his game plan. But pop him now and then. There you see him throwing that right hand just to get Oscar thinking about it.
Oh, he got him thinking. Even though it's not ruled a knockdown, he got him thinking. That could be an interesting look on replay. From that angle, it indeed looked like a hook.
It sure did. It looked like a little wobble there for a minute. So even if Avila's throwing that chopping right hand, which is a good punch for him, because Oscar's left is down a little bit. You see Oscar looks like he's talking to him.
Well, Tony, as you suggested, he's got Oscar thinking here very early. And a very cagey move by Avila. Opening round, halfway through, and already we've had some fireworks with De La Hoya hitting the canvas, but no knockdown called. And Avila getting with the jab and doing the things you outlined, staying away but being active.
He's got to make Oscar think, because if you don't move, don't shift your attack, Oscar knows what's coming. He picks you apart. Avila's very elusive in there. A lot of movement. He's gone to the body. He's gone to the head. He's thrown chopping right hands. There's another one. So he's got everything working. He's like stepped up a little bit already.
Avila already in mid-fight form. Landing some good right hands, getting his jab going, and trying to take advantage of De La Hoya. But he must be careful, because De La Hoya has made opponents pay for mistakes dearly.
Avila keeping his distance, making Oscar come toward him. You're right. Johnny doesn't want to get into a slugfest with Oscar. Get in, get out. That's the best thing for him right now.
They make a mistake against De La Hoya, and it is usually very expensive. So De La Hoya trying to come on here with his left hand, trying to get the hook going. And Avila coming in with his hands up.
Smart move.
This way he will not walk into things, but he does catch a left hook right there. So the opening round has been explosive. Avila got De La Hoya's attention. And there is the corner of Avila. It was an electrifying first round for him.
He came to fight, Dave. He didn't come just to get lulled into slugging with Oscar.
Keep your hands up. Working slow with your feet. Wait. So you want to do quick. In and out. Okay.
Well, this was a big moment in the first round as De La Hoya would hit the canvas and their feet got tangled up. We've seen that called a knockdown sometimes, because he did land a punch at the same time.
Landed a shot right to the center of his chest, and that caused him to go back. I mean, you're right. Sometimes it's a knockdown, sometimes it isn't. But you saw Oscar do a wobble, but it was a punch behind it.
In Palmdale, that's a knockdown.
They might be stopping the fight if that was Palmdale.
Start the second round. Oscar De La Hoya and Johnny Avila. After an opening first round in which De La Hoya hit the canvas, but no knockdown ruled. And we saw some concern in the corner around the eye area of Avila.
Looked like it was a cut opening up a little bit. They were putting some work on it in the very, very far corner of the right eye. So if it starts bleeding, it'll go away from the eye, but that's still not a good position.
Now, that's something that De La Hoya can work on with his jab. Try to get the blood going into the eye. So that's another factor that Avila will have to consider.
Boxing being such a mental sport, now Avila has to worry, well, if I go right, I'm exposing my eye. Let me go left. Maybe he's taking away part of his offense.
And De La Hoya realizing that now would have less to worry about. So that's how it lines up here in round two as the exchange of left hooks goes on. Good pace to the fight so far. No such thing as a boring De La Hoya fight.
No, he warms up in the dressing room that first round. Sometimes he has problems, but he gets rolling. And Avila chopping at the body. I mean, he's trying different things. Oscar can't anticipate right now what's coming.
You get the feeling Avila is also incapable of a boring fight. Comes right at Oscar De La Hoya.
Oscar has 5 inches in height, but Avila's not letting that worry him. He's getting inside, surprisingly, especially with that chopping right.
And there's the hook by De La Hoya, the uppercut. A little bit of awkwardness there by Oscar De La Hoya. Didn't seem to have his balance.
He's doing a nice job in there, giving Oscar some different angles. Seems like every time Oscar gets set, Avila's moving in and out and turning, which is good. Oscar just needs to keep coming forward and throw punches.
There's a right hand by Avila, but he must back up. And let's see how that affects his offensive pattern throughout this fight.
When you're a shorter man and you're backing away, you're making the distance farther for the guy to reach you. But if he takes 2 quick steps while you're going back, he's on you, and you can't really set yourself to try and keep him off him. Nice right by Oscar. Avila's got to keep moving, but not that far away from him.
Avila moving out of harm's way, but also out of his offense, and he takes an uppercut by De La Hoya. Now De La Hoya fires the hook, and the hook again, driving Avila back. Driving him back so far that he cannot get into an offense. So De La Hoya has been able to push Avila off the mark, although Avila remains feisty as we come to the end of round 2. So we start round 4, De La Hoya and Avila.
Avila has to pick up his pace like he did in the first round, because that way he had Oscar back thinking a little bit, and Avila was able to get his punches and be a little effective in there. Last couple of rounds, he's kind of slowed down. Oscar's picked it up. He's fighting backwards with Oscar bearing down on him.
How do you see it through 3 rounds?
I have De La Hoya ahead 29-28. I gave the first round to Avila and the rest to De La Hoya.
De La Hoya winning rounds 2 and 3. Especially the third pretty decisively, as Avila has backed up and has gone ring post to ring post. Now what can Avila do to try and reverse the tide of what De La Hoya has done to him?
Well, he needs to get back in there and throw that one shot again just to wake up Oscar. Maybe this time you go a left hook to the body, because I haven't seen that. A guy like Oscar is so programmed to go after you, you have to change up a little bit. And it's nothing radical like going southpaw, but just a punch maybe you haven't thrown, like a left to the liver or maybe an uppercut. But just to stay outside and try and trade jabs with Oscar while you're backing up, that's not good.
Try to give him something he has not seen, as Avila throws the right and takes the right and bears the brunt of De La Hoya's reach advantage.
That chopping right hand by Avila, that's been his best punch all night. But he just hasn't thrown it enough. Of course, you got to be in position to throw it, and it's hard when you're going backwards. It's almost like throwing an uppercut. You're coming from so far back to throw the punch. You can be counted while you're trying to pull away. You're still in Oscar's power zone.
De La Hoya stalking. There's a hook. And there's the jab, then comes up with the uppercut and gets Avila's attention again. This time Avila able to slug his way out of it temporarily, but again, we saw De La Hoya closing ranks and then firing the left hand.
And every time Oscar steps up and hits Avila, he keeps going to his left toward Oscar's right hand. Avila should break that up and maybe go the other way. Again, it's not throwing a punch, but it's giving Oscar something else to think about.
Avila trying to stalk De La Hoya, but cannot close the ground, and there's a hook by De La Hoya. It was a good one.
He seems the way to. Avila brings his hands down just a tad, and he shoots a shot right in there.
So De La Hoya continuing to follow Avila, not really cutting off the ring very much.
No.
But scoring with his left hand.
Oscar still keeps his hands up, those very straight punches, and can fight coming forward.
De La Hoya lands a swarm of shots and continues to own the center of the ring. So De La Hoya continues to control things as we come to the end of round 4. And De La Hoya's corner, again, he is standing. They've had to like what they've seen in the last 3 rounds.
Not breathing too heavy, looks very confident. Good workout so far for De La Hoya, coming forward, chasing Avila all over the ring now.
And looks like Avila signaling for the right hand more.
Here you see Oscar just coming in. Look how he comes up with his punch. He ducks that. Just missed it, but that's a good attempt. He's coming forward. As a man slows down, those punches will land, and Oscar's doing the right thing, just coming after him.
He made Avila retreat quite a bit to avoid the brunt of those blows. There is Avila and De La Hoya. We start round 5. You're watching ESPN Super Bounce, and this is Dave Bontempo along with Tony Page. Avila scoring with the hook, and as he tries to get in, but now he tries to muscle De La Hoya here.
Well, I think he realizes going backwards, he's just going to get picked apart, and he can't really do anything to hurt Oscar. So now he has to just stand his ground in strategic situations. You don't want to get into a slugfest with Oscar, but you pop him a couple of times, make him think you're going to stay there, and then try and get out of there.
But I'm a little surprised De La Hoya hasn't moved much to his right to cut Avila off.
just like he's following him around the ring. Whatever way he wants to go, he'll go that way. But Avila should go the opposite way just to see what Oscar does. But Oscar, as you said, should be cutting off the ring. Make it a little easier on him.
That would get the right hand going a little better for Oscar. And he's been doing it with the left hand so far.
And even though there's not a lot of blood on Avila's face, you can see it's starting to get red and get chopped up a little bit.
And Avila finally gets to the center of the ring. Thought he might need a passport to get there, the way this fight was going. Ring post to ring post, but he would like to contest Oscar a little bit more on those terms.
And Oscar, he's trying to load up on a, you see with that right hand, but Avila won't let him. What Oscar has to do, and that was a nice straight right by Oscar.
De La Hoya continues to close the ground and look for an opening here. And the crowd wanting the knockout to happen with every punch, getting a little impatient. Then they see the uppercut.
Remember, Avila came out real fast in the first round, and I gave him that first round, but Oscar's punches from since then have slowed him down and busted up his face. The butt in the head hasn't helped him, but here he is trying to fight back.
Avila just getting out punched in terms of the number of good shots, but he's right there trying to score with his right hand. And time will be called. They will look at the eye of Avila. Only the referee can stop it, but doctors do get input. And the doctor said, I really think you should stop it. The referee usually would, and you get a close look at that badly cut right eye of Avila, and a lot of that is the Oscar jab.
Yes, but it's also, besides being cut, it's badly swollen. That, if you're a doctor, you got to wonder, well, is a bone broken in there? It's near the eye socket. It's not bleeding into the eye, but Oscar, he's targeting right now.
And De La Hoya landing some quality shots in there, and nothing like the doctor leaning over the ring to really get the guy motivated, and De La Hoya stepping it up as he senses some desperation in Johnny Avila. So De La Hoya continues to pour it on as we come to the end of round 5. De La Hoya putting on a show.
Doc, that eye, you guys are going to start thinking about stopping it. Look at that eye. Doc, check it out.
It's all right. I know, it's all right, Doc. We got it under control. Ain't no blood. Put that on there. Put it on there. Rub it away from the eye. That's okay. It's all right. Rub it away from the eye. He's all right, yeah. All right.
You got to start punching more, though, babe. Come on,
Come on, Johnny. You're going to have to catch his ass coming in. Get rid of that. You don't...
And in De La Hoya's corner, he hears from Robert Alcazar, and they're smiling over there.
And it's funny, now Oscar's had a pretty good round, but he decided to take a little break and sit down for a change.
Some smart moves there. Conserve yourself. And real concern in the corner of Avila. They were able to talk the referee and the doctors out of stopping it. They said there's no blood, but I was looking at the forehead.
I know. I mean, that eye is swollen. That could tell you something's the matter. And, you know, it gives Oscar a target. And I think the referee had the right idea. You have to throw more punches, because if you're just taking shot after shot and not firing back, you might as well get out of there.
And De La Hoya really loading up with the left hand here, trying to go to work on that vulnerable area around the right eye of Avila, who now must step it up.
At this point, he's got nothing to lose, because if he sits on the outside, he's going to lose, probably get hurt bad because he's not firing back. But right now, he's got to throw punches. When Oscar is leaning on his shoulder, that should be Avila's bread and butter right there, because then he can work Oscar's body, which he hasn't been doing in the fight. Try and throw an uppercut, throw that chopping right hand, and then get out of there.
De La Hoya continues to close in. And there's the nasty jab by De La Hoya. And this might be one of the more controlled performances we've seen from him with one punch, that being his left hand.
It's like he just took this fight to work on the left hand. And it's a pleasure to watch him, because it's a clinic what he's doing. The only thing he should be doing is trying to cut the ring off a little bit. But that comes later, I guess.
Maybe that's after the clinic. So far, De La
Post-grad.
Hoya, post-clinic, he's really putting on a good show here with the left hand. And Avila with just so much to take and can't keep De La Hoya off now. There's a two-punch combination. And the uppercut is lethal by De La Hoya. He's got a good right hand. And he hasn't even seen those punches too much in this fight.
And I said earlier, Avila is a game fighter. He came to fight, but now it's almost like he came to survive. He's not fighting back. He's got to throw punches because he's just getting chopped up right now. He's got to do something different. Maybe just go back to throwing that overhand right hand again.
Avila was able to punch on even terms in the early going, but now there's an increase in the ratio. First it was 2 punches to 1. Now he's taking about 3 for every punch he lands.
And where Avila was keeping his distance by going backwards, even though Oscar was coming after him, now he's getting worn down, slowing down a bit. Oscar doesn't have to put that much pressure to come forward.
So Avila does get one right hand in, but otherwise it is De La Hoya in utter control of the center of the ring. And in so many sports, you see the guy in the center able to control things, and that's what we're seeing here. De La Hoya dictating. He spent more time in the center, and Avila is just taking shot after shot as we come to the end of the round. Really opening up some nasty bleeding to the eye area of Johnny Avila's right eye, and some serious trouble as far as this fight is concerned. And then, of course, we had the clash of heads.
Here you see Oscar coming forward, using that jab. Avila does a nice job of picking it off, but he's got to keep doing that because you're letting Oscar get into your rhythm. He ducks down, but there he is on the end of the left jab. He's got to move his head a little bit, try and duck, come under, but it's a jab clinic right now for Oscar.
So he landed 3 out of 4 in that sequence, and then starts another sequence off. And again, Avila blocked the first one, but Oscar stayed with him.
Avila should have just, at that point, shifted, came forward, pushed him off, maybe worked the body, rough him up, but he didn't do anything.
7th round action. Oscar De La Hoya and Johnny Avila from Los Angeles. Good right hand by Avila. Well, he shows a little bit of second wind here.
Oh, man, nice combinations. I mean, he's just raining punches right now. And even Oscar has to hold on.
Where did Johnny Avila find this? He scored in the first round with some good shots, but this is the first sustained action he's had in the crowd, enjoying the fact that, for this moment at least, it's becoming a fight.
But what Johnny has to do is he cannot back down. He's got to do this for the whole fight. Now, maybe he's setting a trap for himself, but you got to throw punches. You can't try and flurry for 30 seconds in the round and then go back and start fighting backwards, because Oscar can still overcome that.
So, at the Grand Olympic, the Johnny Avila show was 40 seconds. He came out in round 7, really did a nice job, but now De La Hoya again has the distance he wants.
Oscar still coming forward, not throwing the left jab yet, but here it comes as he steps forward. A lot of young fighters come forward, don't throw punches. He's stepping and jabbing at the same time.
Avila had a flurry. He needs to try and build on that. Good shot by De La Hoya, that combination hook uppercut, and now Avila is in the corner, feeling the effects of some heavy shots. And De La Hoya, with that little artillery blast, may have undone all the good work done by Avila in the beginning.
Avila's in retreat now. He had a nice offensive show in the beginning of the round, but Oscar's coming on. Good punches by Oscar.
De La Hoya getting more into these, more leverage, more strength. And Avila backing up. And very few fighters can do well backing up, and Avila proving to be no exception.
One thing, if you're Muhammad Ali, on your toes going backwards because you're luring your man into a trap, Avila's going backwards because he has to, and that makes you more tired because you're working at another man's pace.
Avila gave everything he had in the first 40 seconds of this round to try and turn it around. He did some good work. But now De La Hoya coming back on him, and there's a good hook by Oscar De La Hoya. And a right hand, the uppercut just missed.
Avila not fast enough going backwards now. He's staying too close to Oscar. Oscar's able to land with his left and right.
Avila parked in the trouble zone right here as De La Hoya comes at him. So the round began impressively for Johnny Avila, but it ends impressively for Oscar De La Hoya. And Oscar De La Hoya's corner going to work, and they don't have too much to work on. Just making sure that he gets rubbed down. Across the way, it's a different story, though. Look at Johnny Avila.
This is our fight, coming. This is our fight, John. That's the way you got to do it, Bubba. John, come back with your left hand. Throw the right, come back with your left.
Here you see Oscar, look at him. He's just stalking his man. Good right hand, though, by Avila. Followed up with a left. Threw more punches. That's the best flurry for Avila. Wouldn't let Oscar get back into his rhythm, but as you said, Dave, it only lasted 40 seconds.
Now, how did that 40 seconds by Avila do on your scorecard? Was he able to get around there?
No, because Oscar closed out the round. Probably for a whole minute, he won the round. I've given Oscar every round since the second. He's up 69-64.
So Avila with a good chance to win round 7 as he started out, but after 40 seconds, yielded the floor to Oscar De La Hoya, who finished it impressively. And you wonder if that will discourage Avila, because he had his burst, and it was taken away right after that.
That can be demoralizing. You throw a whole bunch of punches, you think you did some damage, then your opponent takes a deep breath and starts to beat you up. What do I do now?
And De La Hoya leaning in, scores with the hook, backing Avila up. We haven't seen too much with the right hand in this fight by De La Hoya. The style has indicated he can do a lot with the left hand. The right hand is there, he shows it, but the major damage has occurred with his hook and his uppercut.
Good shots by De La Hoya. Got to give Avila's corner credit. He's not bleeding, but he's just not fighting back.
But you can see from that angle there is major swelling in that left eye, and there's only so much they can do about that.
Now it looks like a little blood coming out of that eye. Avila's got to fight back, Dave. He's just going backwards and trying to feint his way out of getting hit, but he's still catching a lot of punches from Oscar.
Avila's enemies, the clock in terms of the scorecards, his swelling eye,
Maybe
and also De La Hoya.
Maybe the matchmaker, too.
Why did you give me this title fight? And here comes De La Hoya swarming again. And Avila, at this point, throwing very little back at De La Hoya and just taking a beating.
Here we are in round 8. Oscar still looks fresh. Good hard punches. I thought it was on the belt. He's taking a point. No warning, just took a point.
Pretty quick to do that. You need a couple distinct warnings before you do take a point. This way the fighters know where they are in the whole process. But in that case, a point taken rather rapidly. I think De La Hoya's got a few points to give away, though.
A few.
Fortunate to be in that position as he pounds out here with the left hand. So maybe he only gets an even round here.
I think it's heading that way because Avila's not capitalizing on the fact that he could steal the round.
Avila digging in on De La Hoya, but the offense has slowed considerably for Johnny Avila. And so after taking a consistent pounding here over the last couple rounds, Avila just finds himself to be a target as we come to the end of round number 8.
Counter that hook. Stay there and counter it. Don't pull out and counter it. Counter it from inside.
Well, Tony, he's not doing everything they want, Avila.
No, and he's staying on the ropes, and then Oscar just starts to pound away. Avila not really getting out of there, just standing right in front.
Oscar did land a couple low. The right hand was low, the left hand was low there too, by about 5 inches. And so the point was deducted. And you know what's interesting is that De La Hoya went right back to work after that. No arguing, he kept his composure and went right back.
A lot of fighters, they get that, they lose the point, they won't throw that punch or in that area again.
So a good look at Johnny Avila, and you look at the swelling around that right eye, and it's devastating to him. It's a big target for De La Hoya. We're set for 12. How far will we go? As Avila comes in, throws a body punch, and De La Hoya backs him up.
Oscar, same blueprint. Just come forward, throw punches, keep that chin tucked in. Avila was successful early with that chopping overhand right, but not lately.
Rounds 1 and the early part of 7 were good for Avila, and after that, it's been all De La Hoya, primarily with the jab, the hook, and the uppercut, all off the left hand. He has shown the right hand, but he's pretty much gone ahead of this fight and is on the verge of winning it with his left hand. He's got a big lead on the scorecards. Good left again.
Avila's not firing back and getting caught now, Dave.
Big hook again by De La Hoya. Now he's swarming in, trying to do more than his customary damage. And timeout called by the referee. Oscar thinks he won it. They'll take a look with the physician. And referee telling the doctor he's had it. Very interesting as this fight's called. It's the referee can stop the fight. It's almost as if the referee there wanted to convince the doctor instead of the other way around.
Well, it's funny. We saw him from behind and didn't realize there was that much blood on the eye. And, you know, I don't know what more you look for, but he's taken a beating. He never really staggered Oscar. No need to take punishment that isn't necessary. And he was just getting chopped up at that point.
In the last round and a half, not very much done by Avila. So he is a victim here.
Well, Oscar got to work on his right hand. He was his left hand, he was very effective with it. Whether it's a jab, a hook, an uppercut, a combination, he gets it working, does a real nice job with it.
And De La Hoya does not let fighters off the hook. He is an excellent finisher, a ruthless finisher, really. And it's one of the marks of a great fighter, is you never let one get away.
And it doesn't matter to him if it's the first round. A lot of young fighters will wait, figure that opening will be there again. No, he sees you, he hurts you in the first round, he tries to get you out, then he goes back into his offense.
So Johnny Avila showed a lot of courage. First round, he was right there on De La Hoya, but after that, Oscar De La Hoya took over the fight, was able to back him off, keep him away from the center of the ring, do the damage, and finally the damage to the eye caught up.
Ladies and gentlemen, because of severe lacerations, ringside physician Dr. Adam Carnes advised our referee, Raul Caiz, to call a halt to the bout. The official time, 1 minute, 7 seconds of round number 9. The winner by knockout victory, and still the undefeated WBO lightweight champion of the world, the Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya.